I'm no millionaire, but I'm not the type to care, 'cause I've got a pocket full of dreams. It's my universe, even with an empty purse, 'cause I've got a pocket full of dreams. I wouldn't take the wealth of Wall Street for a road where nature trod, and I calculate I'm worth my weight in goldenrod. Lucky, lucky me, I can live in luxury, 'cause I've got a pocket full of dreams. Well, there we go. Today we're creating a dream stir fry. Now, most of us, when we think stir fry, we automatically think Oriental, and that is the origins of stir fry. But it doesn't mean that your stir fry has to have an Oriental flavor to it. Although today ours probably leans that direction. I would say the average person in the Orient wouldn't have put these ingredients together. Well, let's get on with it. We're going to do our prep work first. I've already cut my vegetables because if you don't know how to slice vegetables, I probably can't teach you on camera, so we're not going to go there. But what do we have? Well, I've got about a cup of chopped red pepper. I've got about a half a cup of chopped celery. I have 2/3 of a cup of chopped onion. I have it's 1 cup of green peas. I have 1 cup of sliced carrots. And I have about 1 3/4 cups of sliced mushrooms. Now, these ingredients are ones you can use if you don't like mushrooms, don't put them in. If you prefer something different, add that. I have 1 can of sliced water chestnuts. We're just going to mix these all together. Now you're saying, well, why is he calling this prep work? He's already done all the prep, the slicing and that. Well, that's true, but what we're going to do is we're going to marinate these for a while. So this video, I'm making it in parts. You'll watch it as one entire video, but of course I'm doing it in steps. So the first step I'm doing here is getting my vegetables for the stir fry ready. Now I'm going to add to that some basil, probably about a tablespoon of basil, and some ginger, some ground ginger. I'm going to add probably about, a teaspoon of ginger. You can add more if you like a little more bite, add a little more. If you don't like bite at all, then don't bite the ginger. And then we're going to add, I'll measure this for you. I usually just do it by looking, but we're going to add a half a cup of soy sauce. Now those of you that have cooked for a long time, you know that 1/4 teaspoon gets replaced by a pinch, and 1/8 of a teaspoon gets a dash, things like that. You just kind of get to know and have a feeling for things. So I'm adding a half a cup of soy sauce. I don't usually measure my soy sauce, I just usually guesstimate about a half cup. But if you're not a person who's comfortable with that sort of cooking, then by all means measure your ingredients. Now we're just going to move those around in there so we get the soy sauce and the ginger and the basil all throughout over all our veggies. And then once that's done, what we're going to do is we're just going to cover that and put it in the fridge to let the flavors kind of mingle together. It's like a cocktail party in a bowl. You want everybody to mingle and get to know each other and expand their horizons and enjoy the different flavors. So that's that done, and I'll be back in just a minute to get the meat part ready. Alrighty, now we're going to get our meat part ready, but before we do that, I know it's middle of January, January 21st, but I received a Christmas card. It was mailed on December 19th, but just arrived today, and it's from my buddy Bo. And there we go. So really nice picture. There's this way, Bo and Finn and Sophie. And if you haven't checked out my buddy Bo, Great channel. Encourage you to go check them out. I'll put a link in the description box below. But really enjoy watching the three of them. And it's mostly Bo and Finn. You see Sophie once in a while. But two cute pups that get into some amazing antics. So check them out. I also have an apology to offer to Good News Travelers, aka B. Lee's Pets. I sent you a Christmas card, and yesterday it came back to me in the mail. It said there was no such person at that address. So either I mucked up your address or they don't know who Good News Travelers are, where you live. Anyway, I tried. I'll have to see if I can sort that out. I also want to send greetings to Janelle and her hubby, who may or may not be watching this. So if you're not watching it, well, I guess these greetings are going out into the Ethernet and just float around out there. If you are watching, I appreciate your support and the fact that you watch my videos. Yes, I am crazy. That was established many years ago, but sometimes being crazy makes life more enjoyable. So there you go. All right, let's get to our cooking. I have in here about 2 cups of chopped up chicken. Now my chicken is pre-cooked. I'm using leftover chicken from a barbecue chicken we had the other day. If you don't have some pre-cooked chicken, probably 1 large chicken breast cubed, or whatever chicken you have cubed up. You want about 2 cups, and you'll cook it. You'll have to pre-cook it in your wok before you add your other things. As I say, I'm using pre-cooked. One of the reasons I do chicken stir fry is to use up leftovers. So most often when I do it, my chicken is pre-cooked. So about 2 cups of cubed chicken. Let's put that in your bowl. You're going to want a teaspoon and a half of minced or crushed garlic. You're going to want probably about 2/3 of a teaspoon or a teaspoon of white pepper. And about a teaspoon of paprika. And then we're going to just kind of mix that together, just to get the flavors mingling again. There we go. And what I didn't get out, I'm going to add to that is a dash of soy sauce. That'll probably be equivalent to about a tablespoon, I would say. You don't want the soy sauce to become the overwhelming flavor. Most soy sauces tend to be on the salty side. You just want enough to enhance the flavor of the chicken, not enough to be... You don't want soy sauce flavored meat chunks. So there we go. That's done. And like the vegetables, I'm going to let that marinate. And we'll cook it all up later. So be back for you in just a second, and we'll get to the actual cooking part. For me, it's going to be a couple hours because I want these to marinate, and if I cook stir fry right now, it's not going to be as good by the time we want to eat at 5:30. So I'll cook it up fresh so we can take it right from the wok to our plates. So I'll see you then. All right, well, it's time to put our stir fry together. So we're going to turn our fry pan up to about a 2 on the scale there. We're going to put in about 2 tablespoons of canola oil. We'll get that hot. And on the stove right now, I've got the water going to a boil to do our noodles. Once the water boils, we'll put the noodles in there for about a minute just to soften them up, and then they'll eventually go into the stir fry. Alright, so I kind of goofed up there. I was yakking away and then discovered I hadn't pushed the record button on the camera. So what I've got happening so far is I've heated 2 tablespoons of canola oil in my wok and added the vegetables. And while that's doing, I've got the water coming to a boil here, ready for our stir fry noodles. So now that the water's ready, we'll add our noodles. And we're going to want those to boil for about a minute. So we'll let that happen. Set the timer here. And our veggies are cooking nicely. Now, It's like, this is the third time I've said this, but only the first time to you, is if you're using raw meat, you want to cook the meat first, then take it out, put it aside. But because we're using pre-cooked chicken from leftovers, we don't need to do that. So we can start right off cooking our vegetables. And you just want to kind of keep moving them around in your wok. Main thing, you don't want the ones on the bottom burning and the ones on the top not cooking. So get them in there, get them moving around. Keep an eye on your noodles so they don't boil over on the stove, make a mess. And watch your footing, you don't trip over the cat who's wandering around my feet here thinking he's going to get something. There we go, our noodles are done. We're going to drain these. They'll sit there to drain. Alright, get to our noodles here. Our veggies are coming along nicely here. In just a minute we'll add our chicken. Mix that all nicely together and we'll let it cook. Remember, when you have dishes like this with multiple things in them, your goal is to get the flavors to mingle and blend so that you have a really good tasting dish at the end. So we'll get these in here cooking. Don't take too long. Now, if you're going to do this on top of your stove, if you don't have a wok and you're going to use a fry pan, you probably want to reduce the amount of vegetables in that you do, unless you've got a really big fry pan. I'll bring the camera over here so you can see what's happening a little closer up. There we go, now you can see what's happening in the bowl here. Just keep moving that around. Yes, Rowan, I know you're there. I do. Alrighty. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add our stir-fry noodles. Now, if you prefer, you can do rice. And if you're going to use rice, you want to cook it before you put it in the stir fry. Okay, now we're going to reduce our heat. And we're going to put the lid on and let it simmer for a little bit. There we go. That'll help to infuse the flavor of the noodles, of the stir fry, into the noodles. So we've got that steaming nicely. While that's doing that, I'll quickly set the table so we can eat. Alrighty, let's give this another stir here. This is one of my wife's favorite meals that I fix. I think she tolerates all the other ones just so she can get through and to the days that I make stir fry, because she enjoys it. Alrighty, this is looking good. We'll turn the heat down. And it's ready to serve. And that's the nice thing with stir fry is it doesn't really take that long to do. Alright, I'll give you a close-up of that so you can see what we're going to enjoy. There's our plate of stir fry, and that's our recipe for today. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll come back on Friday for our story time and shout outs and groaner of the week. So until then, until Friday when we see you, bon appetit. Hope you've enjoyed today's recipe. Again, it's very simple, and the list of vegetables I used at the beginning you can change up to your heart's content. If you want to use different onions, spring onions, don't like onions, leave them out. Change up your vegetables. Sometimes I make it one way, sometimes I make it a different. It's one of those things that is very versatile. You can change it. You could use pork instead of chicken. You could use beef. It's totally up to you what kind of meat you use. If you're a vegetarian, well, just leave the meat out altogether and have a nice vegetarian stir fry. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and until Friday, take care, stay safe, and God bless.